Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Geek 2.0 podcast. On today's episode, we're going to cover you in loot boxes and then jump aboard that hype train to Vegas for CES. So, join us! Hey, welcome to another episode of the Geek 2.0 podcast.
Is it that time already?
It's the beginning of the year.
Oh my
It's a new year.
God, where did it go?
I mean, 2017 was kind of a dumpster fire for a lot of things.
Good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's probably about the only way you can do it. Talk about it.
I mean, it wasn't all that bad. I did have my daughter in 2017.
Yeah, there's some shining moments in it. But on today's episode, we're going to be talking to you a lot about, and our main topic is going to be about CES and hype and what we think about. And what we actually want to get off our chest right now in the rant segment is loot boxes.
Yeah, you know, I don't care for it in the, I guess what you call like your big box games.
Well, it's more like a can I has please stuff. I'll give you money if you give me a chance to get something nice.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are like that way.
See, like I can get it with like your smaller, like your phone games. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
yeah,
I
the
can,
mobile is just filled with
yeah, of course. It's basically the foundation for
yeah.
it. Yeah. Like, and I can understand that. You're at most paying, $5, some extreme cases 10, you know what I mean? But you're paying a little bit for the game. So I get it. They're trying to make their money somehow.
Well, the big problem is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
You're paying $60 for a game.
Exactly.
And what was for Darth Vader? You think, oh, I can spend maybe an hour or two and be able to play Darth Vader or somebody higher up, want to be the high coveted item, so to speak. But no, you guys spend hours upon hours and hours. Almost, what is it? I forget the number, but it's total up to about 1 or 2 months of solid playtime. That's if you want to go the free route.
Yeah.
Oh, you can have Darth Vader if you pony up a little cash. Get the pay to win, so to speak.
Well, and that's just it. If you're spending the money on the game in the first place, the game should come with at least a lot of the good stuff. Like, I guess the best example I could give is something like Fallout 4 or, Skyrim or something like that. You're getting a lot for your money.
Right.
And then you can get into the like the mods and stuff like that, where if you want to pay for an added feature or a cheater, that's
new
cool.
missions and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. But to get a game like that and then out of the box,
Oh, hey, if you want this, come look over here.
Yeah.
For $20, I can get you a chance to get this.
that's the part that kills me. And
Well,
that's where
like I said, is $60 for the game. You expect you'll have all this content you can play through, and a lot of people just speed run through it.
yeah.
But most of the general population gamers will spend a long amount of hours playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then to be slapped across the head, say, hey, if you want to get this character, you gotta pony up or spend even more playtime.
And I haven't looked into the Star Wars Battlefront specifically, but like there's also the people that are the achievement hunters. Mm-hmm. So are they going to have to
Yep, they will have
pay to get those achievements?
Or spend the many hundreds of hours to do it.
Oh, see, like that's nuts.
I mean, it's almost like a Korean grindfest game where you get to spend hours upon hours to get that little token to get something for your character.
It's crazy.
But it's just one of those things. It's like, is it gambling, so to speak? Because with EA, their backlash against EA is huge. From Reddit with their 600 and something odd thousand downvoted comment. That is like the largest downvoted comment in Reddit history. But a lot of the countries, especially in Europe, are actually looking at these loot boxes as a form of gambling.
I guess it really depends. Like I said, I haven't spent much time on that specific game, but if it's to the point where you're paying specifically for a random item, then yeah, I mean, in a sense, it kind of is. But if you're paying for something,
it's a random chance to get that item.
Well, yeah, then yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is.
It's
But
like
if
going
you're
to,
if you're
Vegas.
buying the item specifically, then no, it's not.
No,
but
yeah, it's not a direct sale. It's you're getting you're paying a chance to win that item.
yeah, see, then I don't know. It kind of is gambling then.
But it's also the thing is I play a lot of games that have loot boxes, but they're more of a cosmetic thing.
They don't change the gameplay or give an advantage.
Right, you're not getting an upper hand against other people that are not paying because it might be a free to play game. Yeah, you might have to pay something if you want it because that's how they make their money to make the game.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, $60 for a game and say, hey, give us more money to keep playing.
Yeah, that's the part that's killer to me. Like now, if they had sold the game for half the price, maybe brand new, you know what I mean? Okay, you know what? It sucks.
Well, if they're more upfront about it.
Yeah.
Say, okay, the game's $60, and if you want this, it's going to require such and such amount of cash to buy gems to get the character, or this amount of time that you need to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see locking certain characters behind so-called paywall, in effect, but not an absurd amount.
Yeah, no. Well, and I guess that poses the question.
Make it more, not a challenge, but an achievement. Say, hey, I played the game and I beat it this much, or I played it this much, I got the character.
Well, and I guess that poses the question, do we know, and I'm honestly asking here, do we know how much it is for these things?
For the Darth Vader?
Yeah, we'll go with Darth Vader since that's what we were talking about.
So how much would it actually take to get Vader? I mean, we looked it up.
Yeah,
it's still a high number.
Yeah, it took a little bit. We had to do some quick research on that. Wow. Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly from what we've seen here, one, it looks like they did a price cut because of the backlash.
Yeah, because it was a higher number, and the backlash and Reddit and pretty much took their stock into a free fall.
So it was 60,000 credits for the top tier.
Yeah, for Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Correct, were the two top tiers. They cut it by 75%, so it's now down to 15,000 credits. Mm-hmm. Still kind of crazy. And from what we've seen, there was someone, mind you, this is forum based.
It's the internet.
Yes.
We take it as gospel.
So someone said, just as an idea, they bought $200 in crystals, which is, I guess, like the in-game currency. Mm-hmm. The crystals they used to open the loot boxes. After spending $200 on the crystals and opening all the boxes they could with those crystals, plus they had 6 hours of gameplay, they had enough credits to get Vader.
That's one character.
Yes.
Now, if you want Luke Skywalker, you're doubling that number.
So $400, 12 hours of gameplay.
And hope RNG is on your side.
Yeah, and have luck on your side.
And this is with the $60 game.
Yes, and that was after getting the $60 game.
Yeah, giving EA $60, you give them another $200. I want 6 hours of your life.
Yeah,
to play the game.
And
then get Vader. That's ridiculous.
That's very, very ridiculous.
Now, mind you, microtransactions, loot boxes have been around since card games.
Yeah,
I mean you're paying a couple bucks to get a new card deck. And you hope to get it. This is completely different. You're not spending.
Well, and that's kind of what I was talking about in the beginning. Is it's what you're paying up front.
Yeah, it's what you feel as a value.
I could spend, and I know I've been talking about this, but I could spend $60 on a game like Skyrim or Fallout 4 that are hours and hours of great gameplay, or $60 for this to just get the base game, and then have to pay all these extras
to get more characters.
Yeah,
that you actually want.
I feel like in this case there was a great a thing on the internet, meme, or I don't remember exactly what it was listed as, but basically it was like old school games, and it showed like $60 and you had a whole hamburger, fries, and a Coke.
Yeah.
And then this one it's like $60 for the meat.
Yeah.
And then you had to pay for the bread, the lettuce, the tomato.
A la carte.
Yeah, you had to buy everything else. It's like I feel like that's what they're doing to an extreme now.
Oh, it is. And that's why it's all of a sudden these governments and legislators are actually looking at this stuff saying, okay, is this actually gambling? Which, in effect, it is.
Well, and that's just it. Because I haven't played, so I don't know specifics, and I don't think it's something that we could look up quickly.
Well, it's also I play a game called Star Wars: The Old Republic, and they have what they call hyper crates, where it's 25 or 26 boxes that you're going to open up for. I forget how much credits there are, but you have a chance with each crate to open it up to get a platinum item, which is cosmetic. Mm-hmm. It's complete. It has no change on your gameplay whatsoever. It's just the look of it. And then something that has like the Kylo Ren lightsaber effect look to it. And that's like high platinum level rarity.
But what I want to know is the amount per crate that you're opening with the crystals, the amount of credits that you get, is it a set amount? Yes. Or is it completely random where you could open it and get no credits?
Oh, no. You're spending the credits.
You're spending crystals.
Well, no. In Star Wars: The Old Republic, the game.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking about
Battlefront. Oh,
yeah, in Battlefront. We don't need to spend the time looking into it, but that's what I'm wondering, because in the
I think you're getting credits or
the
crystals.
essence of gambling.
Yeah,
you're spending the crystals to get the credits to get the big items.
I believe that's the case.
So, if I spend X crystals to open a crate to get X credits, if it's a static range, so you're always going to get credits, I don't think you could qualify it as gambling, because you're always winning. If you're opening it and you get no credits up to X credits, then yes, it
you have a chance. You might get 1 credit or you might get 10,000. It's like playing the lotto, so to speak.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah, if you're always winning, it's not gambling.
Right.
Because you're always getting something for it.
From my understanding, it's not a set. You get 6,000 credits for each open
it's not
box.
A set number.
No, it's
which
random.
It's fine. It's a random number. But as long as you're always getting credits, then I don't think it's going to classify as gambling, because technically you're paying for those credits.
Right.
You're paying crystals
but
for
the
those
per
credits.
dollar to credit conversion swings wildly from
very much so, and that's
the high number to the low number,
and that's where EA may have to adjust what you're going to at minimum get X credits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where people can go, okay, well at minimum
well,
it's going to cost
$10,
me.
I get 250 credits.
Exactly. They know a minimum of that.
Yeah.
Yes. Then I think they could skirt it, but right now, if EA has it,
well, they came out of the door swinging. It's like, hey, give us all your money.
Did they?
The internet's mad at us. Oops. We're going to fire that PR guy.
So I think that ultimately that's what it's going to come down to, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a lot of backpedaling and explaining and
probably refunding.
Well,
depending, or they're going to, they should have a transaction history. So maybe they'll owe them X amount of credits.
They might throw, here's a couple extra credits your way.
Yeah.
Be gone.
Basically.
Yeah, stop making any noise. But it's just adding the real dollar value to something that is a credit that you can use for a shiny. And where other games, like I said, is you get cosmetic items which have no effect on
I guess the
anything.
Closest that I could think of that I've actually played that would be comparable would be GTA. The most current GTA out there, because they have their
well, that's a whole nother story, because they have so many people have not rigged the market, but have completely ripped off the market, where you're paying or using cheat codes or something.
Well, yeah, there's
get the high dollar like cars and
give
stuff.
it time, they'll do the same thing for EA.
Yeah,
but it is somewhat similar. I didn't say that right, but whatever. In the sense that you can spend money to get in-game money, getting their cards, their credit cards.
The shark.
Yeah, the shark cards.
Yeah.
And then those shark cards you can use to buy like the higher end vehicles.
It's way overinflated. Like
very much so. Yeah.
Was it a yacht or something? It's like $1 billion if you convert it to real money.
Well, and that's just it. Throughout the game, you can make the money or steal the money, or you know what I mean.
But
like
it's also
all
you have
there.
to deal with the cheaters out there, because that's a whole other story.
Super quick backstory. I actually had a friend of mine that back before they changed it and patched it, he would play under his wife's profile. So he was playing the game as a female under a female profile. And so many thirsty guys out there. So he made so much money doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was hilarious.
You see that video every once in a while. It's like I forget, it's like a Counter-Strike or something where it's like, I need ammo, or
Yeah.
like, I'm a girl. All of a sudden, you have people just swapping. Here, have some. Here, have some. Here's all my ammo.
Oh my god. But so I mean, I guess that's the closest I could compare it to, but I still didn't think it was right, but it didn't really change the game in Grand Theft Auto. It was just whether or not you got that really nice car. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which you didn't necessarily need.
No, I played it. I haven't played it in almost a year, and I still have wanting to start a card. I put a little game cash I had accumulated, and it's like,
yeah,
whatever. It's got the shiny rims.
I mean, I played it on the 360. I didn't pay for it again on the Xbox One.
PC Master Race.
Ugh.
It's the only way to be.
No, I like buying a system once and playing it until it's done and then getting a new system. It's so much cheaper than your PC Master Race.
Oh, really? Let's get into it.
Another topic.
That'd be another episode. We could fill a whole hour with that.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, this is with this whole thing with loot boxes. It's starting to come to light with the EA and other games. It's all of a sudden people are getting more into what is a loot box and stuff like that.
I highly doubt. I think it's kind of where things are going, and I'm not liking it. But
it's like you mentioned earlier with the mobile games.
Yes.
It's all the microtransactions. It started with that. You pay $2 or again, free.
Yeah,
and
is fine if it's a cheap game in a sense, you know. But if you're gonna pay full price for a game, to me, it shouldn't have it, or it shouldn't.
And there's plenty of games. Witcher 3, which is a couple years old, you can probably buy on Steam for $10-$20. I know I did. I haven't played that much, but it's a full, complete game.
Yeah.
When it first came out, $60. But it's a complete game that you can play end to end without actually spending any more money on.
Correct.
And you get a full, enriched experience.
And if you're going to offer stuff like that, it should be for your own experience or not have any effect to the game. Right. You know, you can get, it could be something where you can only get the gun, the weapon, the ammo, the whatever. If you're paying for it, that's fine, but it shouldn't necessarily give you a leg up.
Right, against other players.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden you start on the unfair advantage. It's
correct.
Like, well, you have your whales spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on the game, and you got some guy that just bought it, and he's getting completely trashed from all these whales, just killing them all the time. Well, guess what? He's going to look at the game and say, this is not worth it, and give up, and all of a sudden now you have a dead game where you got 4 people playing.
Yeah, and that's where I was kind of thinking and going, is that I'm really hoping that this kind of squashes it for a lot of game makers, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, it's they see dollar signs in their eyes now.
Very much so.
Okay, they got in trouble. Let's see how we can do the same thing and kind of skirt around.
Now we know where the line is.
Yeah.
Let's go just below it.
We'll go $2 under. So now the game is $55 plus tax.
Basically, yeah.
So that was our loot box discussion.
Got any extras you'd like to add, or inputs, or anything that you could think of?
Or
let us know.
Any shark codes you want to give me? Or,
yeah, I mean, that's fine too.
Extra credits. So let's go ahead and move on our main topic. Now, our main topic is CES.
It had to be. Come on now.
Every year, this time of year, January 9th to the 12th, it's pretty much all week. You can actually, I think it's the weekend before and the weekend after. It's like Festivus for consumer electronics.
Nerd Hanukkah.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know what CES is, this is the Consumer Electronics Show, and this is where all the companies like Samsung, Philips, you name it, invade Las Vegas for a whole week of showing off their wares of upcoming stuff in the new year.
Gizmos and gadgets and features and
3D TVs. Oh wait, that passed.
Yep. Nowadays, it seems like everything's going for virtual reality.
Yeah, virtual reality, augmented reality with Microsoft's HoloLens, which is expensive nonetheless, but all the stuff is expensive. Think about it. With virtual reality, yes, you can get by with a decent. You have to have a decent computer, let's say mid-range, to have a good enough effect where you're not puking your guts out playing it, because the frame rate is horrible and everything.
It's definitely. I really think that's where things are going. We were actually talking a little bit before this about if there was any new TVs or anything like that, and really it seems like TVs are kind of plateauing.
Yeah, they have plateaued because everything is now the 4K HDR, and that's
when your biggest feature that's come out recently has been the curve.
Well, that was 2 years ago. Actually.
Exactly,
it's the new curved TV, and that's like, it's so immersive.
The only thing I can think of that's probably we're gonna see, because I know that they've already done it, but it hasn't really hit yet, that I could see coming down for TVs is going to be the flexible screens. I think it was Toshiba, or Mitsubishi. I'm not sure. I'm just going to trail off. Samsung. It was something, they had a TV that was flexible. You could actually bend it and fold it up and stuff like that, and it still played. It didn't break anything for obvious, because that would be crappy.
Bad.
It defeat the purpose of what they were trying to advertise.
Flex is cracked.
So I could see something like that coming out, especially on the more commercial corporate side, like outside buildings and stuff like that, to be able to go around a curve.
Yeah, to replace LED display panels.
Yes.
Stuff. Because they look great from like 100 feet away, but when you start getting close, those pixels are now 2 feet.
Yeah. So I could see, in that situation that coming up, but there's not really anything else I can think of for TVs that are going to come down the line. Doesn't mean there's not.
The only thing I can think of is going completely bezel-less, which
they kind of have, and a lot of them you can take the bezels off and they still function.
Well, I know a couple months ago, Marquez Brownlee from YouTube fame with his reviewing electronics and stuff like that, he put up a video, and it's like this, I think it's an 80-inch TV that is completely bezel-less. It's like putting a window on your wall.
Okay, done.
I was like, I would like that. I don't like the price tag. I think it was like 10 or 15,000.
Yeah.
Let's give it a couple of years to be under
$100.
The Black Friday deal buster at Walmart. But like we mentioned before, with the video wall, like back in the future, that kind of technology is actually almost here with the TVs, or be almost bezel-less.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a OLED TVs, which are really like colors pop, using marketing terms here. They're oversaturated. That's basically what it is. But on a 4K TV, it looks really good.
But I think as far as like the technology and the generational side of things, I think it's going more for the VR and AR.
Yeah, because Vive and the Oculus Rift have been out for what, 3 years now? 2 or 3 years.
I mean, technically Oculus has been out much longer than that.
Well, yeah, and like Kickstarter prototyping, but as a commercially viable product that anybody can go to like Best Buy or something.
Yeah, it's been a few years now, absolutely. Yeah. Was it Vive? That's the HTC one. Yeah. There was another one I thought that was out there.
The Rift.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because there's the two that I know of. There's probably some cheaper models that are. I mean, you can get Google goggles.
Yeah,
like the cardboard. I have some.
Google Cardboard. Yep, I've got one of those too.
That's a fun experience. It
just hurts.
Yeah, it hurts the bridge of your nose. That stupid cardboard.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. It's where all of this VR is now in the mainstream, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can slide your phone to a piece of cardboard and you're there.
It's amazing. It was one of the things when I got my Galaxy S8, I pre-ordered it and it came with a free Oculus.
No, with the Samsung VR, right? The Samsung VR?
Yeah, it's Oculus.
Okay. Yes, you're right. I had a brain moment there.
Yeah, that's fair. We all do. But it came with that free, with the controller and the Oculus and and all that, and it's running off of just my phone, and it's crazy how good it is.
It's amazing that my phone is powerful enough nowadays to be a VR experience machine.
Yeah, I mean, back when these first came out, the battery barely lasted, and you didn't have anything on at all. Now we leave Bluetooth, wireless, we're running VR on it, and it still lasts all day. It's great.
And it's good for Pokemon Go.
What a time to be alive.
The future is now.
But it's really it's so neat to experience, and I can see to me, augmented reality is where things are going. Mm-hmm. Virtual reality is the bridge that's going to get us there. So virtual reality will still improve, but I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make too much improvement because they're going to start putting all their time and energy into AR.
Well, a lot of things is because they say they did all the gizmos and the gimmicks to get VR out there. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to spend the time and money and research to actually, let's fine tune it. Let's get rid of that screen door effect. Let's actually make it 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
And let's get rid of that nausea factor, because a lot of people that do VR, they can't do what more than 5-10 minutes before they start feeling nauseous, because your body is not reacting the same way as the movement that you see on screen. So your brain is getting confused, and next thing you know, you're, like I said, puking in a bucket.
You're drunk.
Yeah. Drunk off VR.
And another neat feature about it, though, and it was something that we stumbled upon by accident. By we, I mean me and my wife. When I first got the VR headset with the phone and I was playing with it, on the headset there's an adjustment, so you can make it further away or closer, so you can clear it up for however your vision is. Okay. Well, my wife needing contacts, and she's got pretty rough vision without contacts in. She wasn't sure because at the time she just didn't. We were just hanging out at the house, so she didn't have her contacts in. She was wearing her glasses. She wasn't sure she'd be able to see it. So we tried it. We put the headset on, and she had to move it all the way to one side, but she could see perfectly clearly without glasses or contacts. I was thinking about that. I'm like, because it came with a see-through feature, so that way you can
see
you can use the camera on the phone through the VR and be able to look around your living room and stuff. So you can kind of do AR, depending if it uses that feature. It just, that really eats up your battery when you do that.
And that phone's going to get hot.
Yes. But it allowed her to be able to look around without glasses or contacts. It wasn't super crisp or clear because of everything that it was going through. Right. Because it was basically taking the camera, moving it to 3D, but that 3D was moving to 2D because it was just doing a pass-through.
And then you got the lenses that are in the device itself.
Yeah, so it was a little
you got
wonky, but
3 or 4 layers
exactly
going through.
But it worked nonetheless. So you take something like that and you go, okay, well now let's look at the true AR. Mm-hmm. And you look at going back to like Google Glass and stuff like that. I could actually see prescriptions, glasses changing with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because now it's not having to get something specific for your eyesight and having to go through, the eye test and figuring out what your prescription is and all that. It's basically, yes, you need glasses in a sense, or hell, they may not even do that anymore because everyone's going to be using it like a cell phone.
Precisely.
And it's just, here's your glasses, you adjust it till you see clearly, and you keep going. And everything's augmented.
You go with the Coke bottle glass. Where's the Coke bottle setting on this thing? Crank it up to 11.
So, I mean, I see it going down that path very easily.
And the technology is out there. And like with CES, I mean, they're putting their prototypes out to the world. And it's like, hey, this is what we can do. This is what's coming out.
Yes.
In 2018.
So to me, that's the technology that I'm going to be looking for at CES. I want to see where they're at currently.
I'm looking at the AR type thing with the Microsoft HoloLens, and they're headed up here as Windows mixed reality operating system. It's basically mixing your VR and AR together in one single unit, and you can play games and stuff. But they're more putting it out there for the enterprise and getting work done inside the virtual workspace, so to speak, where you can have your Outlook window. You'll be walking through a virtual house. You got your window there, and you can click on it, or you can actually go turn around, go to another window on your virtual office or room, whatever, and you can play Super Hot or something.
Yeah, it was. We've joked about it at work about moving to a virtual reality office space. Don't see it getting there anytime soon. That because there's a lot of security that comes into that.
Oh yeah,
but it could be really interesting.
Well, a lot with like the headsets with the HTC, the Vive, is you have to have the room sensors.
Yes,
the little boxes that you can put up on the corners of your room. What they're going to go into is through the headset itself. Mm-hmm. So you don't need the boxes. The headset is sensing the room that you're in and any objects in your way. So you're not moving around and trip over a chair or something because it'll show like
an object
or a white box. Say, hey, there's something here. Don't trip over it, stupid.
or do.
It's all part of the game. But
Dick Van Dyke, the video game.
Walking it through. But I'm seeing it that it's starting to go into more commercialized because over at Disney Springs, actually, I think this month or last month, is you can play the Jedi Experience at Disney Springs, where it's $30 for 30 minutes. You put on a backpack with the computer and your VR goggles, and they have this wide open area that you can run around in, and you can play the game. Now that's VR on your back. You don't need to be tied to a computer anywhere.
Well, there's crap. I wish I knew where it was, but there is a company that's out there that's currently building a kind of like a laser tag arena.
I think it's the same company that I think what you're thinking about. Is
and they're building where they have the actual the landscapes all built out, but it's all just flat walls.
Well, there's actually another company I saw where it's blends between AR and VR, where you have an object and they have like if it's a what you're looking at, you're experiencing is a hot pizza in a pizza box, but they have like a little heater thing. So if you get close, you can feel the heat of the pizza, or you're walking into a hallway and there's a fan blowing wind on you.
Yes.
And the game is you see it's windy and you think, okay, it's windy, and it's more immersive that way.
Yeah, but you could walk up, but the walls themselves are just plain because everything's done through virtual reality, and you could walk up and say you got to like push something like a code in. Well, you just go up to the wall and you're pushing on nothing, but it's doing the that mix for you and stuff, and it's all built into the headset. And again, you're wearing the backpack and stuff like that. And
I mean, we got that far within so many short years. Going from you're tied to 30 feet from a computer to now you're wearing a computer.
Yes. Well, and technology's made that so much easier. I mean, we were just talking about the phone being able to run all that. So, yeah, absolutely, with a laptop or anything, really.
So, yeah, I think within the CES that we're going to see more AR, VR stuff. I think car technology is exploding because... We didn't talk about this before. I think with Tesla and Waymo and all that, and the self-driving cars are going to be a big showcase at CES. They've been there for the past couple of years as well,
of course.
But it's even going to be even more now, especially with Tesla and their semi trucks that they've. I
just read something today. Crap, who is it?
Is it?
Oh crap! So one company just invested in a whole bunch of Tesla 18-wheelers to do their
change out the delivery vehicles, their trucks that they use.
I can't remember who it is now.
One of the big companies.
Yeah, it was a big company. I can't. I think Coca-Cola.
Okay, I think you're right.
I think it was Coca-Cola invested in a whole bunch of Tesla 18-wheelers,
which is to go from the diesel to an electric vehicle. Yeah,
hugely smart.
Yeah. But I think we're going to see more automation with like Apple's CarPlay, Google's I forget the name of their
Android Auto.
Inside more cars,
and you're going to start seeing more Wi-Fi enabled cars.
Yeah, that's another big thing is they have a Wi-Fi and they're all interconnected, and I think also you're going to add in more a vehicle by vehicle that they can talk to each other.
Actually, T-Mobile has a ODB2 sensor that you can plug in that you can add to your data plan, and it turns your vehicle into.
That's what I need is more things on my data plan.
Yeah, I know, but it'll
it's an
turn
extra $10. Why not?
It'll turn your vehicle into a mobile hotspot on top of, because it's plugging in the ODB2. Will take all the codes and sensors and everything that your car does, and you can like check it on your phone and like get all that information. It needs an oil change, it'll let you know, all that kind of stuff. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Been out for what, 94?
Absolutely, but it's never been tied to a cell phone service.
It's because you think, I got to go to a dealer, I got to go to the mechanic to get the codes. No, you can just get the device, plug it in.
Yeah.
But I think with that, it's going to be adding more into the cars because everyone is doing more in their cars.
Yes.
You got your data plans through your cell company. Well, what if you hit a blank spot on the highway? You're doing a cross-country trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean...
Well, and I think that's also... I think a lot of the stuff that we're getting to with these cars is just kind of a slow migration into the autonomous side of it.
Yeah.
And basically,
there's going to be no cliff all of a sudden where it's like everyone's driving autonomous cars now. It's going to be a slow ramp up.
It is. It is going to be a slow ramp up. And a lot of the stuff that they're going to be showing, like at CES and stuff like that, is to get people accustomed to the technology before it's a complete control.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they're not going to go into a car. We talked about this before, self-driving cars, but it's the mindset.
Yes.
I'm not fully in control.
Yes.
Also, I see someone dart in front and I'd be like, stop the car. No, I'm in the back seat. Oh, no. But another thing I think with TVs, or CES, like I said, TVs are plateaued, but I see that maybe mixing AR into your TV.
Okay.
Because you can do QR codes. And with the commercials and stuff like that.
But with that, couldn't you kind of go full AR VR though, and not need the TV itself?
Well, Netflix is in VR.
I know, yeah. It's really cool to watch. It's a mini movie theater.
You'd be all by yourself. But yeah, it's just one of those little things. It's the small things that people are doing, not because they have to. It's just because they can. It's just something stupid that they can put in this stuff.
The other thing at CES is going to be a lot with, it's not as much, but they do a lot with like cell phones.
Yeah, the new crop of cell phones, because a lot of the cell phone manufacturers do wait till Mobile World Congress, and they have their own keynotes, and like Apple or Google I/O,
Samsung, all that. Yeah, absolutely. But they do still debut a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's like, here's like a sneak peek before Mobile World Congress.
Correct.
Wait till whenever that is, a couple months down the line, to get the full experience of what we're actually going to be.
So we can see the now probably, I'll take a stab in the dark, $2,000 iPhone that's going to be next.
Well, no, you got to wait till September if you want the iPhone XS, where their naming convention goes.
Oh, good God.
But it's only $50 a month if you do the iPhone upgrade program.
Oh, good God.
With Apple Care Plus included.
No, thank you.
One of us.
I'm kind of too integrated at the moment into Samsung. I think I'll stay there for the time being.
But the thing is with phones, that also is plateauing, so to speak.
It is, but I almost wonder if they're going to take the VR AR and make it kind of reliant on the phone. Because we were talking about right now, you kind of need to have at least somewhat of a decent computer.
Yeah.
But you can also run it off of a phone, and the phone technology is getting there. Do you think they're going to either move one way or another solely, or do you think technology is just going to get to a point where it can just run off of a phone and it's not necessarily headed directly to it, like this is where we want, but it's just going to organically get to a point where...
Well, I think you're correct on that, Mark. I think, they might add some aspects of that. But my thinking is that with phones, the only way they can move on to the next level, so to speak, is the battery power. We have gotten so good with battery performance that you can spend almost a full day, but you still got to plug it in at night.
Yep.
They're going to go to looking at a different kind of battery technology where get rid of lithium ion.
Okay.
where you don't have the troublesome Samsung Note 7 exploding battery problem and the fear that comes with that because they packed it too big of a battery into a small enclosure.
Hey, at least they tried.
Well, yeah. But going into something that's more better, safer, where you have no explosion and you can pretty much puncture it. I see where they can go in that direction.
Okay. Do you think that with the phones, because they are, I don't think there's any argument there. They are definitely. I don't
think they're going to be there. So, okay, we're done.
Yeah, no.
Close up shop. Let's go.
Phones are definitely heading towards being, I mean, if I'm going to be as bold as to say computer replacements. Mm-hmm. I think Samsung actually has where you can plug your phone into and make it a full-fledged desktop experience. So I don't think it's too bold to say that they're going to be computer replacements in the near future. Mm-hmm. But do you think that they will get to a point where not only will they be computer replacements, but your watch will take place of the way your phone is now? So basically you have your laptop desktop is going to be obsolete, and it's going to be, I have a phone and I have the watch, and the watch is going to take place of where your phone is currently, and the phone's going to take place of where the computer is currently.
Well, they're going that way.
It seems
with the Apple Watch 3. I mean, you can take phone calls. It has its own LTE chip in it, and GPS and all that sort of stuff. And the Samsung with Tizen, their own wow. Their own in-house operating system, because they moved away from Android. Inbred.
I kind of like inbred. Let's stick with that.
You can watch it go look goofy and have red hair.
Hey.
But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. That I don't think this year CES is going to be that. I think they're going to probably save it till like 2019 or 2020, because I think they say that their PR, their public relations is say, hey, let's get everything out. But I think with past mistakes with all companies, say the backlash and certain things like the iPhone notch or the Samsung Note 7 debacle, they're going to see all this stuff and say, okay, let's refine what we've been working on instead of shoving all this stuff out there and see what sticks.
Okay.
And let's refine it so we have a better product and we can charge more. We'll do the $2,000 phone. Yeah. Because now it's a computer.
Yeah, if it's a computer, I can absolutely see that. But then, and the reason that I was kind of saying is because, are they going to get to a point where the phones they will have the wireless in them, but you're not going to use your phone, as funny as this sounds, to make calls or text?
Because who does that anymore?
It'll all be through your watch.
Like with the DeX. You plug your phone into it, and it's your computer. You have it hooked up to your monitor and everything. But I think it's a computer.
And you got to figure a lot of companies are starting to go with BYOD now, to bring your own device capabilities. So you're bringing your own laptop, and they're connecting it to their network. And that is your now work computer. That's also your personal. So again, everyone's got a phone on them. So it's now not only your phone, but it's also your computer. It's also your work computer, and everything's tied together. And they do have the capabilities currently to make a phone a BYOD device where it's on a network and it still gets the same security policies and all that. So that's why I could see where
there is no line anymore. There is, it's a blended gray. I mean,
and everything, you'll go with a simple no wire Bluetooth headset that you'll wear in your ears. So that way it will allow you to make your phone calls, but that will be paired with your watch. Your watch is now technically your cell phone, where all your calling and texting and all that's done through your watch. And your phone still has the capabilities of that stuff, because it's still going to have the wireless network. That means anywhere. Plus it'll be your computer.
I say, I'm not comfortable with wearing headphones, or I don't want to watch. I just like the phone. Okay, well, you can do that. Or if you want to do all three, that's your choice. Hey, I left my phone at home. Well, I still got my watch and I got my earbuds.
Yep.
So I'm still good.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree with it. Yeah, that's in the gray. That's
another thing that I'll be looking for at CES to see, not necessarily if CES this year will have that. As we said, it'll still be a few years,
Yeah.
but to see the progression towards it.
Actually, let me take that back, because there are probably companies out there, hey, here's all the stuff that we're working on.
The ones that are a little bit ahead of their times.
Yeah,
or
it's 5 years from now that it's going to be ready, but hey, this is what we're working on.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
We haven't started, but we've talked about it.
I want to show you a conceptual drawing. Here's a PowerPoint presentation. But yeah, if you got any ideas or anything that you're thinking about that's going to happen in CES, or if you have your own wild notions like, hey, I want to go.
Or what you would like to see.
Yeah, or what you want to see. Let us know.
Absolutely.
At our email address or Twitter at the end of the show. Give us a shout out, as the kids are saying. Shout out to my pops.
We're hip and cool.
We're not old people.
Anyways, so
So I want to thank you for listening in to another episode of the Geek 2.0 podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Joe.
And we'll see you on the next. Thanks for listening to this episode of Geek 2.0 podcast. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Geek 2.0 podcast. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Geek20 podcast. Don't forget to visit our website at geek20podcast.com for older episodes, news, and much more. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast through your favorite podcatcher player of choice. The Geek 2.0 podcast is part of the Collective Network.